Hey everybody, guess what? It's time to make some wine. Before we begin this, I want to say right out of the gate that this is going to be a multi-video thing that we're going to do on this because this is not an all one-day affair. I'm going to create a playlist for the entire process from the time that we start this wine until we bottle it, and yes, until we taste it. What we're making is a blueberry wine, blueberry fruit wine. And several years ago, probably 2015 or 16, Kelly found this recipe for DangerDave's Dragon Blood, which is a really good wine. It's a triple berry wine that he did. And what's really nice about this recipe is you can really kind of do some different things with it. We've done strawberry, blackberry, we've done blueberry blackberries, we've done watermelon, which absolutely sucked. And a few other things. Cranberry, which was also very good. And that's probably the next one we're going to do. So we're going to go through step by step what I'm doing on all of this so you can follow along. Again, this is going to be a multi-day thing. So I'm going to do a combination of long form, but I'm also going to do some shorts as well. As you'll see in the process, there's some things I don't need to do a long form video for. Although I may put those shorts together in one long form, but we'll see how that goes. So let's get into this. Many years ago, Kelly wanted to buy a wine kit. So I was working selling cruises at the time, and when I sold a Carnival cruise, I would get gift cards. And so I saved them up and bought her a wine kit. Turned out, eventually, the person that wanted the wine didn't want to make the wine, or I just kind of took over making the wine. So I bought this book years ago, and I've got all these different wine times that I've made wine on here. The first one that I have actually in here, I think, is and actually, this isn't the first one, but there's a raspberry here that was the first fruit wine we did. It was a raspberry in 2015, and all the way up into a blueberry 2018. So we made a lot of wine. So I'm going to put a link to DangerDave's Dragon Blood wine in the bottom of this so you can actually go and look at it yourself. You can really kind of see how it plays out. We've adapted it. We're going to do blueberries. We're going to do, I guess we're going to do 9 pounds. We're doing 9 pounds of blueberries because there's 3 bags there, so we're doing 9 pounds. I think I might actually have another pound in there to get to 10 pounds, but we're doing 9 pounds. Quick correction, 10 pounds. Because I have an extra bag. So we're going to use these other ones also. So we're going to do 10 pounds. I got to thaw these. These are frozen. Frozen fruits are the best because what happens when fruit freezes, all the moisture in there turns to ice. When it turns to ice and it melts, it tears apart all that flesh that's in there. So you get a lot more juices. So having fresh fruit is awesome. If you have fresh fruit, freeze it. Or if you just get frozen fruit. And it tears up, like I said, tears up all that flesh so you get all the juices. So pretty simple. This is just water, fruit, lemon juice, a bunch of other miscellaneous things that I'll show you as we go along, put it all together. But it's going to be fun. So first step, as always, sanitize. So let's sanitize. I promise not to bore you with the details and all the little fine-tuny things as we're putting this wine together. So we're just going to kind of go through it. So what I always do, well, the number one rule when you're making any alcohol, if you're making wine, beer, cider, or anything like that, is you have to sanitize everything that is going to touch your wine. If you don't, then you're going to get some weird thing in there that's going to throw off the taste, it's going to throw off the alcohol, it's going to do all kinds of things. So anything that is going to touch your wine, you've got to sanitize. And what I use is one-step sanitizer. Works absolutely great. There's no rinsing to it, so all you have to do is put in a tablespoon into a gallon of hot water, which we're going to put in our container here, and then mix it up, and then we're going to start sanitizing. So things we've got to sanitize. This is the bubbler, which you're going to see lots of video of the bubbler coming up in the shorts. I'm going to be using a boat motor or an immersion blender to get the whole thing started in the beginning. A whole lot easier than stirring. Way easier than stirring. We've got a turkey baster that we're going to use because we need to test the alcohol level as we go along so we know when the wine is done. So got to sanitize that. Of course, we've got a spoon, and this is just a beer one. we're going to sanitize our hydrometer. This is what measures the amount of alcohol that we have going on. And then this is the container that the hydrometer goes into. Probably won't use that until, well, we'll use it today for the initial level that we'll mark and note in our notebook. Also have the lid here for this that we're going to wash, but I think that's it. So I'm going to put this together and let's start sanitizing. If you were paying attention, you noticed that I forgot to wash something. I forgot to wash the immersion blender, or sanitize the immersion blender. It was sitting right next to the bucket. Totally forgot to do it. The other thing I forgot to do also, and when I walked away from the camera, is I forgot to get my 1 cup scoop, because I have to scoop out the sugar and measure this sugar. So no big deal. You know what? I hadn't rinsed this off yet, so it was still covered in sanitizer. And the sink has been sanitized because I just poured all the sanitizer in there, so we are good to go. So I didn't know if anybody caught that, but boy, I'll tell you what, I caught it. You want a really good pro tip? So this pro tip is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of trouble, because when I got everything sanitized, I totally forgot there was some other stuff that I need to sanitize also. One of those being the stocking that we're going to end up putting all of our blueberries in. So it's always a very good idea to have a side bucket of some sanitizer. So that way, when you forget things like this, as us typical old guys do, then pretty easily, it is now sanitized and you're good to go. So keep a small bucket of sanitizer on the side, so that way you can go back and get anything that you forgot. Okay, everything is fully sanitized. What I always do is I will use the lid. I'll sanitize the lid first so I can put everything onto the lid. Makes it a whole lot easier. So let's start putting some stuff together. All right, now the fun begins. Now we get to put it all together. Everything's clean. And yes, I forgot to sanitize something else, which I did sanitize. So we're going to start with 48 ounces of lemon juice. Put this right in here. I will usually do that on the table, but we got a plug over here, and this time I'm using the immersion blender, so it's going to make it a lot easier on us as we go along. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to fill this up to 4 gallons with water. I do this out of the fridge because it's filtered water, so much better than just out of the tap. I'm not going to film that because of the fact that it just takes so freaking long to do it. So we're going to go and fill this up to 4 and then come back. Okay, so we have it filled up now to 4 gallons with water, and now it's time to add 20 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference when you taste it. And then once that's done, we're going to take the immersion blender and we're going to mix it all up, so that way it's a whole lot easier than stirring. Sometimes what I do is I'll pour some in and then blend it, and then pour some in and then stir it. So again, I am not going to bore you through all of the sugar going in because it just takes a long time. So, but I am going to maybe fast speed it. So we'll see. You're not going to believe this. I was 3 cups short on sugar. 3 cups short. So I had to come out to Food Line and grab another thing of sugar, 4 pounds. I only need 3 cups. Anyway, I thought this would be a great time to bring up Nexus Rewards. Nexus Rewards is a great way for you to earn cash back and save money on groceries, on gas, on travel, all kinds of things. When you shop online or offline, save some money, put some money back in your pocket. With the price of everything going up, take advantage of it. It's free to sign up, absolutely free. Join up, link below, Nexus Rewards. Now I got to get back and finish this wine up. Let's rock. Okay, we're back from the grocery store. I added my 3 cups, so we are good. So now we have a few other things that we need to add. So the first thing we're going to add is going to be 1 teaspoon of tannins, because what we're adding doesn't have natural tannins like grapes do. So we will add that. Stir. Don't worry, I'll give you a picture of what this looks like when we get it all done. So we're going to stir that in there. A little bit of water from earlier in there, so sticking, but that's okay. Then we're going to do 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of the yeast nutrient. So 1, 2, 3. So we want our yeasties to survive and make good alcohol for us. That good and stirred up. All right. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of yeast energizer. And we're going to stir that up. You're not supposed to put all these in at one time. You've got to stir them in individually and get them in, mixed in good. There we go. Let that go. And then our last one is going to be 3 teaspoons of pectic acid. 1, 2, and 3. That's it with our spoon, so that can go there. And then let's stir that up. So we're going to get this stirred up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the water level up to 6 gallons. Once it is up to 6 gallons, then we're going to put our fruit in. Got all this set up for our base first before we put the fruit in. But guess what? We're getting closer, and this is going to be awesome. So let me put you on pause, go get some water. Fill it up to 6 gallons, and then it's fruit time. Now we have everything in our bucket except for our fruit, so this is a time that we're going to check and see what our sugars are in the container. And what we're shooting for is about 1.075. That's going to give us an alcoholic content of about 11%. So what you want to do when you're reading these, you just put them in and spin it like so, and then just kind of keep an eye on it, and it'll slow down. Sometimes it's kind of hard to read. We are sitting at 1 point. Let it finish. I think we're sitting about 8 something. So this can be pretty high alcohol content. Of course, it never stops in front of you. Of course, that is in the table wine section. So yeah, we're going to go with 6. 1.086. So make sure you mark it. 086. 1.086. Adding the fruit's going to up it up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to make a difference. So let's go ahead and now add our blueberries to the bucket. Okay, so this is where it gets fun. So what we're going to do now is we have our 10 pounds of blueberries that we're going to put into this small nylon into the bucket. And as we're doing that, we're going to squeeze it a little bit too, get some of the moisture, some of the liquid that's in here permeating into the blueberries, get all the acids in there, get it all the enzymes in there. So when we add yeast tomorrow, it has something to work on. So here we go. Wish me luck. This is always a fun process. So what we'll do is we're going to start with a small bag first. And then we'll go with the big bags. Always fun. I've done this with fresh that I've picked myself. I have also done this with groceries. You can do whatever you want. It's always fun to go out and pick your own stuff though. Make sure you get it all inside the nylon. This is where the color is going to come from now. It's not going to be that yucky yellow you saw earlier. It's going to be a beautiful red when it's done. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. 2 more hanging out in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these last 2 in here, 3 in here. And then I am going to do the video differently so you all can watch. I always let the liquid go in there also. So you put it in the nylon, squeeze them, break them, always break them all up. Get all those juices in there. We'll get going. So let me stop the video and then I'll do some time lapse again so you can see it happen quickly. Still a lot of blueberries in there. Pull this up a little bit. There we go. Still got quite a few blueberries in these bags. So I'm going to try to scrape them out and get them in there. You don't want to waste any blueberry juice whatsoever. I'm just going to have to put it in my hands and put it in there. That's why I got a towel on the floor. Let the juice go in there. Blueberries in here. Same thing over here too. I got a bunch of blueberries in this bag. Not the first one. I got all the ones out of the first bag. Those juices in there. Isn't that a pretty red? That is going to be absolutely gorgeous wine when it is done. All right, so come back here. I don't know where that one went. There it is. Lost it again. There he is. Come here, you. There you go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tie this off. And we're going to squeeze and break these up. And what we want to do is we want to get the liquid that's in the bucket into these blackberries, into all those juices, into those skins. So that way it's going to start, all those enzymes are going to start breaking everything down. So when the yeast gets in there, it's going to have all kinds of food to eat and make a lot of alcohol. And the process, which you're going to see the next few days, is we're opening this up, we're testing the water, and we're doing the squeeze again. So when I said earlier, this is very labor intensive. This is very labor intensive because this is what we're doing every day to get this going, to make sure that we're taking advantage of all the juices. Look at that, all that red. It's going to be absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So let that sit in there. Let me rinse my hands off, and then we're going to cover it, and we're going to set it for the night. Okay, so that's it for the day. So now what we're going to do is this going to sit overnight. All those enzymes are going to start getting into the blueberries, and start eating into it and getting it ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, what I'll do is I'll open it up, we'll test it and do some squeezing, and then we're going to put our yeast in, get that going. So hope you all enjoyed this video. There's going to be a lot more to come. I'm going to do shorts every day. And again, make sure you watch the playlist, because I'm sure a lot of you are going to be watching this long after the wine is made and long after the wine is drank. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Have yourself a great day, and thanks again.